This is beautiful Idaho. What a truly magical place. Vast canyons with endless forests, old tunnels carved with history, and bridges that guide you from one scenic road to another. The rivers and streams run so clear they feel untouched by time. Experiences in a place like this are immeasurable, the kind that stay with you long after you leave. Join Rasta Dog and I on this new adventure and discover how extraordinary Idaho really is. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another adventure with Rasta Dog and I as we continue making our journey around the Pacific Northwest. He is up in the Jeep. I just let him out to use the bathroom as we have been driving out of camp most of the morning here. Today we are out here in Idaho. I am just below Wallace, Idaho, on the section 7 of the BDR. I'm going to run this going lower on numbers, so work my way south and through the BDR routes. And I am not going to run all the BDR because I don't have time to do all that, but I am going to take section 7 south and work my way down into central Idaho with Rasta Dog, exploring some side tracks along the way and just enjoying this absolutely gorgeous area. So come along with Rasta Dog and I as we explore beautiful Idaho. So far the trail is just a gravel road, but it is probably the best maintained gravel road that I have ever seen. I am aired down and have adjusted the shocks, but there is no ruts in this. It is just a gorgeous road through the forest here at higher elevation. Starting to drop a little bit now, but just through the valley and the canyon here, just absolutely stunning, gorgeous. Well, we just stopped on the side of the main trail after you cross that bridge over there to enjoy this beautiful river that runs alongside the trail ever since we started making our way down. The water is just absolutely crystal clear, and Rasta Dog is down here wanting to sunbathe and lizard himself. But we're just gonna enjoy this for a little while, and sometimes you just gotta stop and appreciate the absolute beauty that you're around, and this is it. Absolutely stunning. After leaving the river, we continued along the trail, crossing several beautiful bridges and moving through a series of old tunnels. There isn't much recorded history about the bridges, but they are most likely part of the original logging routes in the area. The tunnels, weathered, silent, and long abandoned, belong to the old railroad system that once wound its way through the forest, connecting small towns tucked deep into the wilderness. Sometimes you just gotta stop and appreciate what you're around. And we passed through the other couple tunnels there, and then just before this other tunnel right here, there's a awesome waterfall right here. The whole wall is just covered in moss. Absolutely gorgeous. Eventually, we made our way past the tunnels and into the small town of Avery. From there, the trail dropped to the canyon floor before slowly climbing in elevation, leading us to active logging operations scattered along the route. love how the trail is like ever changing. Feels like every time you get into a new portion after like 20 or 30 minutes, the terrain just completely changes. Because now we're in a thick forest floor, where like the new growth of trees is starting to kind of tower over the road a little bit. Like it's starting to get overgrown, but it's still plenty wide enough to truck through. Absolutely stunning. I would absolutely love to fly the drone and show you guys like above perspective, but with it being so thick, there hasn't been very many opportunities to safely fly the drone without taking some pretty heavy risks of crashing it. So that is the reason why I haven't put it up yet. But I'm hoping as we continue south here that it'll open up. But I am happy to be trekking on this trail. Well guys, after I left Avery, there just wasn't much happening on the trail other than that beautiful canyon area, and it did tighten up a little bit, got a little bit rougher, and I began looking for a campsite because I wasn't finding anything since we came out of Avery and all those places along the creek there before Avery. But I found a little side turnoff, and this is going to be a great camp. I don't know, some people might call it an epic camp. I kind of feel like it is, because we have a view of the range and the mountains all the way down that way. Just absolutely gorgeous. It's sunny up here, it's grassy up here, so Rasta Dog can enjoy it and play and not get all sandy, laying everywhere. There's also no bugs up here other than one big old fly that keeps wanting to buzz around me. So, perfect spot for me to call home for the night. Yeah, so, we're gonna get camp set up right here and just hang out tonight. It's gonna be a fantastic evening. Man, Idaho is gorgeous. Yuck. Oh, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Rasta, grass, daddy. Grass for me to play in. Instead of on these rocks, daddy. Instead of on these rocks, daddy. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Rasta had his dinner. Now he can share my dinner. Breakfast sausages, eggs, orange juice. Breakfast for dinner. I love it. And it's even better in a spot like this.
Okay, wait. Whoa. What a beautiful morning, Baba Dog. Get your stick.
Well, good morning from camp. Rasta Dog just ran off to play with his stick. I'm sitting here having some breakfast and enjoying this absolutely incredible campsite. You only have a partial view, but it is so peaceful up here that we had an awesome evening. I stayed up and watched the stars, so I don't know how to do video on it, so I'm going to put up some pictures right now showing you the stars last night. Holy moly, was it incredible. What better way to start our time in Idaho than a spot like this? Well, we just stopped at the cabin that is on this section of the BDR. You can no longer camp here because there is signs here, but you can, door is open. They just ask that you close the door. So we just stopped to check this out. After leaving camp, the trail continued to be pretty rough, working our way down until just shortly after the cabin there, but it has changed back to being an immaculately well-graded and maintained gravel trail. But it's absolutely gorgeous in here. The flowers are blooming on the sides and everything, and there's hummingbirds buzzing around all over the place, and just absolutely gorgeous. Doesn't open up to too much of a view. You do get some of the valley looking out for a minute or two, but there's nothing that is like wide open, long-lasting view offs on like cliff sides or anything like that. But absolutely gorgeous trail. But we're gonna continue making our way southwest here and see where we end up today. I'd like to make it pretty far south, but because I am still quite a ways north on the trail here. So we're just taking our time, enjoying it, and enjoying what Idaho has to offer, because it's impressive so far. Part of the reason why we chose Alu Cab is because of the tailgate delete and being able to keep the dust intrusion out of the back of the truck bed, and I'm feeling that way right now because these trails are very dry and very dusty, and that was something we knew would be the case, especially with us going to Alaska in 2026. Those trails can be very, very dusty as well, from what I've read up on. So that we wanted to have something where we could lock ourselves in at night and be safe, as well as keep the dust intrusion out during the day while we're on the trails. I initially didn't want to delete the tailgate, and neither did Lisa, because we would use that as a cooking platform, just to put like our cook stuff on and cook off of that. But weighing the options and stuff, there's other ways of cooking, and just buy yourself a table and stuff. That we haven't done that yet, but we are going to be making some changes to the Alu Cab and putting a couple accessories on this winter as we do start prepping the Jeep a little bit more for our Alaska adventure in 2026. So it's a little sneak peek of what's to come in 2026, but very, very happy we went with Alu Cab. I think people have a understanding that the allo cabs are just extremely expensive. And don't get me wrong, they are expensive, but they, in comparison to what else is on the market, it is very, very closely priced. What gets expensive is when you start adding the accessories on and all that other stuff, but that's with any camper you get. No matter what camper you go with, you're going to likely be adding accessories because you're customizing your rig to what fits your adventure best. But for us, it's allo cab. We don't need a whole lot of extra mumbo jumbo stuff with our stuff because we just like to slow it down and enjoy the trip. But as I've said before, everybody's adventure is different, and so allo cab is what works for us. Might not work for you, but they are fantastic, and I can't be more happy with this thing. can see in this area they are currently logging. It's far off in the distance where they're actively working, but you can see in this area there's like new growth of trees already coming up from where they have logged in the past. But some people would disagree, but logging is absolute necessary. One thing I haven't understood though, and if somebody knows, is when these companies are logging, why do they leave big piles of other trees? I know they're the thinner trees, but why do those piles just get left as piles like they do? So I've never understood that. You see it all over the place in the logging areas. But so if anybody knows that, please put it in the comments. I would love to know why those get left like that and not used for mulch or something of it, whatever nature. Well, we made our way down into Pierce, Idaho, and fueled up on gas there, and the trail coming out of Pierce is just a asphalt road until you get up in the mountains a little bit, and then it cuts off to gravel. We are on that gravel portion now, and we're going to take this kind of east a ways over and see what is along this portion. I'm hoping that it climbs in elevation but quite a bit, so I can try and find a campsite up here or something. I don't think my riverside camp is going to happen, but I think elevation campsite again is going to be in store, which is fine by me. current situation is it is exactly 5 o'clock right now, and I'm trying to find a campsite, but there has been absolutely nothing along the trail. I've explored a couple pretty sketchy dead ends, like that were like offshoots and stuff along the way, and they died out before it even turned into being a dead trail. So I'm continuing on, kind of northeast on the trail here. I'm hoping I can find something, but there has been nothing, absolutely nothing for a campsite, which I'm very surprised about, but that's part of it. Trail is bouncing in and out of burned areas from the fire back in 2015 from this area, it looks like. So I'm hoping to find something sooner than later. I'm gonna continue on here and see what tonight has. Well, after I continued on Rocky Ridge going up that way, I decided to turn it around and call this place home for the night, because before I continued on that way, I did stop here and contemplated it and discovered there was no bugs, which I am very grateful for. And they have this view off into the valley range. Absolutely gorgeous. Definitely not 360 degrees because of the trees behind me, but an absolutely beautiful view. Not too far off the road. I don't think I'm going to see anybody come by tonight. I've only seen a couple motorcyclists that were carrying on down the trail a little bit farther. So we decided to call this home for the night, and Rasta Dog and I are certainly going to enjoy it. He's already up in the tent being a lazy bum, and I am going to sit outside and just enjoy the evening. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video and tuning into it with Rasta Dog and I as we are exploring Idaho. This is my first time to Idaho and exploring the backcountry out here. If you guys have been to Idaho or are from Idaho, please drop a comment. I would absolutely love to hear about it. And if you have not been to Idaho before, I highly recommend coming out to this area, running the BDR route, or just downloading some offline maps and coming out and exploring this beautiful landscape. And it is absolutely gorgeous out here, and I am looking forward to what comes next on the adventure for Rasta Dog and I. But thank you guys so much, and Rasta Dog and I will catch you guys on the next adventure. In the meantime, I'm gonna put the drone up and give you guys a view of this awesomeness. So thanks so much. See you guys again. Bye-bye.